Hello everyone and welcome to the latest episode of Pulp, Punditry and Portchy. Hi everyone and welcome to the latest episode of Pulp, Punditry and Portchy. I hope lockdown's been alright for you. It has been a while as well, but I thought especially with us coming back to football in this coming week, it'd be a great opportunity to be able to speak to the club and see how things are going and how things are going to be when we come back to the club, especially for Hamworthy in a week's time. So I thought the best person for the job would be the chairman, Paul Kelly. So we're just going to have a bit of a chat with Paul and see how things are going and how things have affected us in terms of the lockdown. So, first of all, Paul, it's obviously great to see you again. I haven't seen you for...
Lewis.
No, thank you. It's been obviously a while, probably about a month really, isn't it, since we've all been in it. How have things been, like, generally from the Portchester side of things with lockdown?
Yeah, well, obviously no football, but as always at the football club, there's a lot going on behind the scenes where the volunteers are, we've recently erected a electronic scoreboard, which we raised the funds through some fantastic blackouts that we've done at the last few home games. The support for that was brilliant. People were just chucking silly notes in just to get the money up.
Brilliant.
So fantastic, and thanks to everyone that contributed to that. But obviously, the maintenance around the ground has to continue. Charlie Searle's out there every couple of days on the pitch, doing bits and pieces to it, and that's why it looks as good as it was today,
And also, I guess, with the Blackfield game, like that could have essentially not been on from my memory because the weather was awful.
Yeah,
loads of games locally that didn't go. So it was great to have. And did we max out our attendance or something?
We did, yeah. That had been for the third game on the trot. We've maxed out the attendance to 300, which, for a club like us, that's amazing because obviously everyone's missing football, and those that can't go to Fratton Park or Bournemouth, whoever, or Brighton, then great, they'll come here and see a game of football. But unfortunately that was stopped 4 weeks ago, but we go again next week.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can't wait.
Yeah, can't wait to get back. And obviously we described it, it's a challenging time, not just for us, but several clubs, and we're fortunate that we have had the support behind us, and not every community can argue that.
Yeah.
How has it had an impact on the club? Just to give an insight to a non-league club, not having the, going from obviously having the support we did for all that time, suddenly it just dropping off the face of the earth for a month. How does that kind of have an impact day to day on the club?
Well, obviously, we've still got bills to pay, and not having any income through the bar resources and through the turnstiles, it has been hard. We still have to meet the electric bill, and the internet still has to be paid, even though no one's using it.
Yeah, exactly.
There's still funds to be paid, but let's look forward and let's hopefully we can get some of that revenue back in.
Yeah, and absolutely, and I think you said, didn't you, in the news I saw about, we're in a position where some teams, I guess in like the Southern League, they're not able to restart with all of the tier laws, and ultimately last season was a real disappointment that it did end. And obviously things in this COVID environment, it's so unpredictable, we don't know, but do you feel like in terms of restarting now is the right thing to be able to do? Because I know some people might have said with the lack of revenue through the bar, or lack of things that have to adapt, it's quite challenging for clubs to survive. Like, what's your thoughts on this?
Well, I can't speak for other clubs, and obviously I feel from being football mad, I think we need football every day of the week.
It's a mental health thing.
Exactly, and to get the crowds back in and people out getting a bit of fresh air, enjoying a bit of football, I think it's the right thing to do. But again, we have to look at the other side of it, where people could be at risk if they're mixing with others. But we're all adults, and we just have to act responsible. And but let's get football going again as soon as we can.
Absolutely, I think we've seen it anyway with fans back this week in the football.
Yeah,
I think it's something that's part and parcel of like British society, having something to come together over. It's going to be really important, not only over the Christmas period, but going forward as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Football's always a busy time at Christmas, and I know the rules have changed this year. We're mixing with your families and that. So again, having football over Christmas is another outlet for people, for their own mental health, really.
Absolutely, something to add to the calendar,
Yeah.
isn't it? For things people are doing. In terms of how we're having to adapt on match days now, I mean, I guess things won't have changed too drastically from previous when we were here like a month ago. We've got all the signs around the ground for like COVID. Yeah. There's all the rules in place that people have been following as well. Is there much to change, obviously, with us when we return against like Hamworthy? What should fans expect in terms of when they turn up at the gate?
Well, then obviously as soon as they come through the gate, there'll be the GR code, the track and trace system, which was put in place before we could return back in September. Obviously the rule of 6 still applies on the outside of the ground now. You know, you can sit and enjoy a burger or coffee or a takeaway beer and sit on the outside there in a designated area. Within the clubhouse, you know, we're fortunate enough to have 4 good bars here. You know, we can provide a so-called substantial meal for that, and people can enjoy a pint before the game. So yeah, it's going to make it more enjoyable than what it did look like last Thursday when they reintroduced it again, because last week you would have to sit and drink your tea and coffee out in the car park. But you know, we've done the right thing. The FA guided us to contact our local authorities, which we've done, and we've got the relevant paperwork to adhere to. So happy days.
Oh, brilliant. I think it's going to be really important, isn't it? Not only like we said for the club revenue wise, but getting people back to some form of normality gradually. I think that's going to really help us.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see it at Fratton Park today. You know,
yeah,
today fantastic. You know, Pompey supporters were allowed to go back there. Great, good job we haven't got a home game, because probably someone else would have been here.
Absolutely, and hopefully, and I guess, you know, going off script a little bit with this. I mean, we've clearly benefited. That was one benefit for us, wasn't it, during the lockdown period? Is that whilst Pompey, you know, your Bournemouths and Brightons weren't on, potentially, and even maybe, you know, to a degree you haven't, Waterloo Eagles and Newcastle, they came back later. We clearly benefited from that, and more so if we look at it from the Football League perspective. I guess what we hope, isn't it, is that some people, it's not necessarily they're going to go there instead of Fratton Park, but they'll make a decision to kind of, they've seen what non-league football can come along. What's your thoughts on that in terms of going forward?
You know, I speak to a lot of people locally, you know, and I've got a lot of friends at Fareham Town, old school friends, and they're all enjoying it over there. We all used to go watch Portsmouth as youngsters, you know, and again, we're benefiting at Portchester, Horndean, they're all benefiting. Yeah. So I just think people are enjoying the non-league football more because, you know, you're closer to the actual action. You know,
it's real, isn't it? It's real.
And you can go, well, prior to lockdown, you could go into the bar afterwards, and you know the players would come in, and you could have a chat.
Exactly.
And you don't get that at the, you know, the high level of football. So this is more realistic to people.
Yeah. I think it's more than ever an alternative, isn't it? If we're talking about, you know, whatever people's opinions are on VAR and people like that at the top of the game, it couldn't be further removed from what you've got here. And I think now, if people are looking for the alternative, like to that, to go alongside, I think football at that level has evolved so much, it's so different, that if you're looking for maybe, it's not old school, like here, because actually there's loads of things we're doing which are like really modern. And it's a different way, isn't it? And I think it's really something people can buy into, really.
Yeah, absolutely, you know. And we don't want to lose those extra 150 supporters that we've had. You know, I know we're going to lose some, but you know, if you watch this, please come back if Pompey's away. Yeah. Come to our home games. You know, it's a great day out down here. You know, might be windy this time of year, but having said that, in August it's windy down here.
Yeah, exactly. And
windy wicker they call it.
Yeah. Well, I think people will come back down. I mean, you've already said the fact, especially touch wood when COVID receded. Like, there's not many non-league clubs that have 4 bars. So
no,
I think
true.
You know, I think people there's the selling point in that, and it's a nice location, and ultimately. You know, clearly players and fans want to come and see this club that you guys have built from the ground up essentially. Yeah. So, you know, let's hope that continues. I mean, in terms of on the pitch, like you said, it hasn't always gone to plan this season, but it's actually what we've just been leading into. Off the pitch, it has been so positive. We've had these fans like we've just been talking about. Hospitality's been prior to obviously at the moment has been like incredible.
Yeah,
that's been sold out every week. Season tickets. We said about the average attendance. Last year, I think it was maybe around 100, 110. This year, from last time I looked, it was somewhere in the 200s our average.
Yeah,
so it's double. Like, obviously, we could say we put that down to COVID. in terms of what else, if we remove the fact that people have come from Pompey, I think it's not just that. I think other people have come in. And what do you think it is that is happening at the club this year that's kind of started to move that on, really, in terms of this?
Well, you know, from my point of view, the club, we've always tried to do things the right way and tried to do it to the highest standard possible. You know, we introduced, you mentioned hospitality, we introduced that about 3 seasons ago, maybe 4 now, you know, and I'd make the odd phone call to my mates, get a few lads together, then
well, you're going to say you make a chilli or something. I want to see you in the kitchen.
I will make a chilli. I'll eat the chilli. But you know, before it was a struggle to get sort of 20, 25 lads in, just to enjoy the food, the drink, the banter.
Yeah.
You know, now because obviously the restrictions on going to bigger clubs and that, you know, our hospitality is sold out until the end of the season.
It's nuts.
You know, it's absolutely crazy, but you know, we benefit from it. You know, because the money gets reinvested into the facility, and you can see. You know, as I said earlier, during lockdown, we've still been improving the facility, and every penny gets put back into the club.
Exactly, and again, that's where you know, especially in terms of the non-league game, like we said, it's all going back into the club in some way, or improving the facilities, improving the atmosphere. It's the same with the fans group, obviously, what we're doing as well.
Yeah.
Ultimately, it's going back into player sponsorship, it's going on things just to improve the atmosphere within the club, which is already great. And I think it's great how things are like evolving this season, so long may that continue as well. In terms of, to round things up then, we got actually the first team training out there in preparation for us starting back at Bournemouth on Tuesday night away. Then we've got Hamworthy at home next Saturday at 3 o'clock, obviously a huge match there, so the players are getting ready. What's great to see obviously is that, you know, looking outside, despite obviously we've had changes this season, there's so many familiar faces are still here, retained over lockdown.
Yeah.
There's a few new faces I can see out there. I mean, fans obviously love a bit of like information on like the current updates with the squad and things like that. Is there anything at this time you can like provide us with, or you know, Marty's obviously in at the moment. What's the current situation, I guess, with the first team and where we're going? Any new faces or the current faces?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the squad always needs improving. There's always room for improvement. You know, over the last 4 weeks, although there's been no football, the club have been busy. You know, we brought Callum Laycock in just after lockdown started, so obviously that's his first chance out there today. In fact, I've just seen Rambo put one over the new net in there, so
yeah, give him some stick for that.
Give him some stick for that. But you know, we made a great signing on Thursday night. Obviously, where the Southern League are suspended at the moment. You know, there's going to be a lot of players out there from Southern League level and above that are looking to play football just to keep match fitness. And you know, clubs like us have got to try and benefit from that. And we've done a dual signing this week with Barry Mason's brother Byron, who's from Shogun. So.
Apologies about that. As you can probably tell, that wasn't supposed to happen. We only had a few last minute things to talk to Paul about, and we also had some of your questions as well that we had from online. No doubt we'll talk to Paul again soon and we'll be able to chat through some of those things. What we did talk about with Paul was the fact we've got the Hamworthy game next Saturday, so we'd love it if you could all make sure we get down and get behind the lads and show them the support. Tickets are £7 for adults, £4 for concessions, and under 16s get in for free. So make sure that you drop Paul an email. His email is on the club Twitter. They regularly put it out for ticket information. So please let him know you're coming along to make sure that you don't miss out on getting a ticket, because tickets are selling fast. The El Cricchio game is already sold out, so make sure that you get involved as well. Also, there will be season tickets being sold, and Paul is constantly changing the price of those to reflect how many games are left. So make sure that you join our current season ticket holders that are larger in number than ever before, and coming down to all of the games left this season at the Crest Finance as well, and supporting your local club. Last from me, the fan membership. If you're not part of the fan base in terms of the fans group so far, I'm changing membership prices for anyone who hasn't joined yet, again to reflect the stage of the season. It's £20 for new members for adults and £10 for youth members. With this, you get a membership pack full of goodies. You're going to get a free subscription to the fanzine, as well as some other benefits and discounts down at the club. all of the proceeds and revenue goes towards the supporting the club and sponsorship at the club, so it all goes to a positive place. So make sure you get involved in that as well. On the note of the fanzine will be coming in print form very soon. That's going to be sold for £3 in print, and then also digital copies if you're more eco-friendly for £1.50. So in the next week, please look out for that and support that, because that will be going towards the player sponsorship of Zoe Jessie, who plays for the ladies team. So all of those fanzines sold are going to go all back into the club as well. So make sure you support the club, support the fans group. We're so appreciative of the support we already have, and we hope to see you again soon at the Crest Finance. Until next time, guys, Forza Portchy, stay safe.